have a new theory about Paul. What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to SIBZ, West Coast, East Coast siblings, where we cover your favorite movies and TV shows. Today we're talking episode 3 of Raised by Wolves on HBO Max. It's been a really interesting show. We're going to dive into the 3 big takeaways. Yes, the 3 things you need to know from the episode. But before we get started, be sure to hit the subscribe button and click the bell as always so you don't miss. Also, stay watching for the end because I have a theory regarding Paul that you might want to hear. Let's get into it. So before we get started, I just want to say something about the emotion of these robots. Either they are robots or they're not. I mean, yes, this is all taking place over 100 years into the future, but at the same time, this is extremely complex. Not only are they showing that they have emotions, but they are showing extreme resistance to just emoting. And I guess it's because they're trying to be robots. They're trying to be emotionless. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. There are so many instances, whether it's mother screaming or even father, having these complex emotions that he doesn't quite understand. I know they may be trying to go for that extremely sophisticated, complex robot that's so advanced that it's starting to develop emotions and can't understand it. But I feel like, I don't know, iRobot did that in a much better way. Random reference, but Sonny was still very much a robot. But I digress. Getting into big takeaway number 1, we get some background on Marcus and Sue as they lived their lives in the simulation, which is basically what was happening while they were in cryostasis or hypersleep while traveling to Kepler 22b. So I talked about this in the last episode. It wasn't too clear whether it was their original mission to get to Kepler 22b. Now it's made clear that that was their original destination and they had to go into hypersleep in order to survive the trip. So as you already knew, Caleb and Mary killed and then assumed the identity of Marcus and Sue. In doing this, they discover they have a son, and they kind of see that the kid really didn't have any emotional attachment, almost kind of an abusive situation with his parents, and so they were able to give him a little bit more love, a little bit more caring of a childhood that he hadn't been given. There are some references to the new Sue being unable to have children, and that's why she was having difficulty being a mother and reaching out to Paul, but it seems that they were able to get really close by the time they actually arrived at Kepler 22b, and so obviously they were devastated when he was kidnapped by Mother. We also get a little bit of insight into Marcus's childhood as Caleb, where he was brought up to be a warrior and to fight, and so they just gave us a little flashback to that. I'm assuming we'll get more as time goes on. I don't think they did that for no reason. Moving on to big takeaway number 2, guys, the kids escape. So I don't know how or why they thought that this was possible, something that they could do, but while Mother is away getting antibiotics for Tempest, who is pregnant, they decide to trap Father behind a wooden door. He may be a caretaker, but he's still a robot. So they trap him and then they run off into the wilderness searching for who knows what. The Mithraic children are likely looking for the 2 remaining search parties of the 3. Campion is likely just trying to get out of there. And as you could have guessed, it's not too long before Father and Mother find out where the children are. Father goes after the gang while Paul has been separated while he was looking for his mouse. They have a little flashback to that as well, kind of the bond that he has with Marcus, his fake Marcus dad, and so Mother goes after him particularly. It doesn't make too much sense right now why she went after him particularly, but I think that it serves the plot. Getting into big takeaway number 3, which is Paul ends up trapped. He falls into one of those wormholes, and there just happens to be a tree there that he falls onto, and the fall doesn't kill him. I don't know. Anyway, so now he's pretty lost going into the next episode. But with that, I want to get into my theory regarding Paul, speaking of Paul, and that is the prophecy was that you would find an orphan boy in an abandoned land. And we thought that was Campion from episode 1. But what I think we should keep in mind is that Paul is also kind of an orphaned boy. I mean, his parents were killed and he was technically adopted by Caleb and Mary, who took on the identities of his parents, but he's also alone in an abandoned land. So there are 2 possible orphans there if you want to, talk about interpretation of that prophecy. They've particularly focused on these 2 characters thus far in the show, and so I don't think that's for no reason. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'm interested to hear your theories as we go into episode 4. I know I'm a little bit behind, guys, but I will be getting to those episodes very soon. So be sure to join the conversation, like the video if you're liking the video, subscribe and click the bell as always. Quickly, for my DC DC fans, some news broke over the last couple days regarding Henry Cavill possibly signing a 5 to 6 picture deal with Warner Brothers to play Superman. So I'll likely be making a video on that, so keep an eye out. Again, hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss. We got more great content on this channel and our sister channel, the La Quente Ledger, so be sure to check out that too. I've got shows over there as well. Thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.